don't know me, but I think you all know me. My name is Dawn, and I'm Marilyn's daughter. I will refer to her as Mom from now on. Mom would be so happy to see all of you here today. She would not want this to be an overly sad occasion. She would say that she had a good life, and we should, as they say, celebrate her life. Mom was born and lived her whole life on the prairies. Her childhood was spent in a small town in Manitoba called Moletta, the oldest of three sisters born to Pop and Hazel Quinn. Going through old pictures, I noticed how they always seemed to be having so much fun when the three of them were together. My dad was from the next town over, Gainsborough, Saskatchewan. They met and married when they were both 21. They raised their family in Regina, Moletta, and Gainsborough. Family was always the most important thing to Mom, and she was a caring and devoted mother. We lost Dad way too early, and although it was heartbreaking, she endured and did the best she could, continuing on one day at a time. After all of her children moved away, Mom moved to Regina to be closer to them, and that is where she lived the rest of her life. Mom was always there for her children and grandchildren. She did not try to tell us what to do. She gave us encouragement and freedom to choose our own paths and to grow up and be ourselves, but was there to provide a haven when we needed it. Mom did not have an easy life. She suffered with poor eyesight and later hearing loss as well. In addition to Dad, she outlived a sister and two of her daughters. She carried on for her children and grandchildren and found happiness in them and in the small things. She was somehow able to face all of life's challenges with courage and determination. She was stronger than she seemed, not only mentally but physically as well. Even in her old age, she would walk all the way to the mall and back, only taking the bus if she had groceries. Later in life, she started walking stooped over. I was concerned that she might fall when walking, and she would still walk quite far. So I got her a cane, and on one outing, I insisted she take it, and so she did. But she held it straight out in front of her like a sword. On guard! After that, I didn't say a thing, and she never did use a cane or a walker. As an example of her caring and thoughtfulness, I remember after we moved to Victoria, I was complaining to her on the phone about missing the good pizza from Regina. BC pizza is not good, especially Houston pizza. Then the first time she came up for a visit, I was waiting for her at the airport, and due to her eyesight and hearing issues, she had a helper from the airline escorting her. And out she comes with one arm through the escort's arm, and on her other arm was a huge heater bag from Houston Pizza. She had brought out 2 large ham and mushroom pizzas, my favorite. Mom was not fancy or extravagant. What mattered more to her was comfort and pleasure, and what her kids would want. This carried over into what we would have for meals. There was always some hot camel soup waiting for us when we came home from school in Moletta for lunch. And wiener pizza is still a favorite in our house and an Armstrong tradition with my kids. Pizza seems to be a theme here. Mom also loved to chat with everyone she encountered. I know she knew the bus drivers, the cashiers at Safeway, the pharmacist, etc., all by name. Her door was always open and the coffee was always on. Literally, sun up to sundown. I place a slight blame on her for my Tim Hortons addiction. She was always happy to sit and visit over a cup. I remember a poem she had on her wall. Come in, sit down, relax, converse. My house doesn't always look like this. Sometimes it's even worse. This is another thing I inherited from her, a high tolerance for a messy house. I hope I have also inherited some of her better traits, such as her acceptance, her kindness, and the 3 P's: patience, perseverance, and positiveness. Her quiet strength was one of the things I admired most about Mom. Long before the saying became popular, she was keeping calm and carrying on, and she would want us to do the same. The song is over, but the melody remains. She will live on or a couple of stories. Bethany wrote one and he wrote one that he wants to read too. This is Paul. Now that's
So, my name's Paul. I don't think I've met any of you, honestly. I'm from Regina. I'm Wendy's son. So I just wanted to read something from my sister Bethany. Just a little thing she wrote here. I remember as a kid, Grandma always wanting family around. She was always happy and smiling when she had her kids and grandkids with her. She wouldn't let us leave without a hug goodbye. It didn't matter if we were playing board games or video games together, watching a movie or in the pool with each other. Family was a big part of her life, and I know she would be happy seeing everyone gathered here today. I would like to share some happy and fun times with everyone if I could. The first story I have is when she met Dave and owned her own laundromat. I remember hanging out at Grandma's laundromat with my cousins when we were little. We played Hungry Hungry Hippo in the back room on the small table. Grandma would bring us ice cream as I kicked their butts. This is where she met her longtime companion, Dave. They first met at the laundromat when Dave would come in to help as a handyman, and then years later they would become best friends. Spending those years together really meant a lot to her. Another story I remember is when I was at Grandma's condo she owned. We begged Uncle Ord to play Just Dance with us. He showed us up with his amazing dance skill by using one hand and staying in place, kind of like this, just that. Everyone thought it was hilarious, and we never let him forget it, that moment whenever he visits. The last thing I want to talk about is Christmas. I always looked forward to it at Grandma's, to spending time with the family, opening presents, and enjoying Grandma's cooking. I remember every time we opened presents, Grandma would wait until everyone opened theirs before opening hers. She would always make sure everyone had their cards and gifts multiple times. She always made sure everyone was happy and having a good time and had what they needed. She cared about her family so much and worked so hard, and I will always remember her love she had for anyone she met. Didn't matter if they were new friends or we would bring over old friends that she loved dearly. I love you and I'll remember you. And now this is mine. So my grandmother was a strong woman, always sacrificing for her family and doing what she could to make sure they had a good life. I remember she always made sure everyone had everything they needed before getting to herself. She was caring like that, and she cared a great deal for the ones she loved. With my grandma, she always would have her door open, always have the coffee on, and that's what I will continue with her legacy. I will always have the door open. I will always have the coffee on. I will always invite all my friends and family to come inside to do whatever they want. Our house is a safe place for everyone. So I just wanted to say thank you guys all for coming, and we will miss you, Grandma.
That's fine. Put that back on.
We buried ourselves. Just kidding.
Yeah. Grandma, I love you. Goodbye.
Don't worry, we'll still always talk about you. Have some stories to tell.
Oh yeah, we'll gossip.
Yeah, always talk. That's not gonna stop.